What's up, guys? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged with two special guest co-hosts. We got Tanner from Good Exotics and then South Bay Reptile. Josh, the sponsor, the man. We just had a live with like 10 minutes ago.
You didn't even say the myth, the legend. Wow, whatever. All right, cool.
The myth, the legend. Josh, South Bay Reptiles. All right, and our guest today is going to be Skylar from Skyzthe1imit, guys. Let's bring her on out. And she's going to tell us about herself. Go ahead, Ty. Skylar.
Hello. Yeah, I am Skylar, and my business I call Skyzthe1imit Exotics. You can find me, Instagram, Facebook, Morph Market. But I do mainly crested geckos. I do a few snakes, kind of getting into the boas, doing a little bit of the ball pythons. I've got some Solomon. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I do some Solomon Island ground boas. That's my newest obsession. I know, super excited for that. So, but yeah, just a hobbyist. I do a few shows here and there, sell on Morph Market, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So what morphs of geckos are you working with right now?
Yeah, I've got some fun stuff coming up for this next season. So, just newly got into the Xanthics, so that is a huge project that I got into pretty recently. Empty backs, tricolors. I have red-based tricolors. I have yellow-based, super high white stuff. I'm into the lily whites also. Just a little bit of everything, honestly. The only thing I really don't do are the Dalmatians. Yeah,
that's gorgeous, bro.
Main right there, main squeeze, but. No, I pretty much like everything except the Dalmatians. They never really hit for me, but
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Josh, couldn't wipe the drool off from looking at that picture.
I know, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a fellow gecko breeder, and you can't say no to a beautiful tricolor like that. Like, I mean, she's working with fire. She's working with heat with geckos. I was just saying about in the last podcast about people who do specifics and go hard with it. Great example. Super great example. Skylar's killing it with that. I mean, like I said, I've been watching a few of her geckos. There's a few tricolors that are A1 Supreme. So I'm like, man, she's killing it. It's awesome. Then she said boas right now. Oh, my God. I mean.
Might have to give you a hand, Josh, to help you pick up your draw.
Yeah.
So how do you, what makes tricolor? Like, how do you get tricolor, first of all? It has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think they started out as just a basic bicolor. So you had a base color, and then you added on a little bit of pattern, which was your secondary color. And then all of a sudden people started getting this white or this cream or like a third color. And that's where that tricolor comes from. The real basic definition of the tricolor is just having an equal amount of each color. So that can be stretched a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry. There was a second stream going on there, but it's a little bit of all three colors. Now that can be dark based tricolors, that can be red based tricolors. You know, there's different types of those. You can also have tricolor lily whites that can be also a tricolor, but it's just the pattern on there is amazing, and that's one of my favorite things about them is the amount of pattern you can add.
Yep, 100%.
So my next question is white crested geckos and not like all pythons or something.
Why not?
I'm just asking a question.
No, I think it's just the
come on, Josh.
I think just crescent, they're so easy. Like you can, they're room temperature. They eat bugs and a little fruit mix that you mix with water. You feed them every few days. Like it is just one of the easiest geckos or reptiles, I think, in my personal opinion, that there are. People always say bearded dragons, go for bearded dragons for your first animal. Yeah, everyone here is like, don't do that. Yeah, no, they need specialized lights. They need heat. They need UVB. They need, they need fresh salads all the time. And these guys don't need pretty much any of that. You can give UVB if you really want to, but no, these are just the easiest and they're handleable and they tolerate handling pretty well. So
Most of them.
Yeah, most.
You have your occasional skits gecko. Those ones
And everybody has one.
Yes.
Yes.
Josh's is bitey. Mine's full blown schizophrenic. And I'm not sure about yours. I've only caught your videos a few times.
Yeah.
Bro, when she pulls out her lychees, you have lychees, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so when she pulls out her lychees, bro, they're gorgeous. I was like, I think I've seen the lychee on her on one of her lives, and they're like,
the lychees and I have the chihuahuas too.
What kind of lychees and what kind of chihuahuas are you working with?
So I'm mostly working with Pine Island chihuahuas. So those are the main ones. And then for the lychees, I just have mixes of all of them. So I have some BTC, BTA crosses. I have yates. I have a little bit of everything.
Are you more locality base of chihuahuas and lychees or color base? The chihuahuas, it sounds like locality just because Pine Island, but like what are you? Are you locality based or color based? Because you can be both.
Honestly, I like the coloring. The coloring is what pushes it the most for me. The chihuahuas, I think I've just gotten lucky, and all of them are Pine Island at this point. But no, I think the coloring is what really does it for me.
Okay, cool. I do gotta ask you. Okay, with crested geckos, what is your favorite trait or favorite morph of crested gecko right now? Something where if you had to get rid of every other one, you'd be fine just breeding just that one, where it makes you content. Which one?
Good question.
Ones with the drips. So any sort of pattern that comes down from the dorsal or extends up from the laterals, man, that gets me going. Like, honestly, take everything else out, the xanthics, the empty backs, everything, and give me some drippy stuff. I will run with it. Like, that is.
Can you show everyone what you're talking about?
Yeah. Do you want me to just grab a gecko and go?
Yeah, go ahead.
100%.
Hey, Josh, guess where she got them from? I think she said she got them from South Tech Gex.
From Carl?
Which geckos?
Your lychees, right?
So I got one from the Gecko King, and then I've
Okay.
also got some from Treetop Reptiles, which her name is Brianna.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you got something from South Tech Gex when I talked to you.
Nope.
No? Oh, somebody else. And my bad.
All good.
That would be Josh. He got up from South Tech.
No, it was somebody else before Josh. I can't remember. They were like, I got my lychee. Oh, I know who it was. Yeah, wrong person.
All good.
Wow, that's messed up. Wow.
Yeah. No, because I've been trying.
You treat your host? Wow.
No, because I've been trying to get into lychees, and I just saw that she works with lychees, and the other guy I had on before her also works with lychees, and he's the one that said he got into from South Tech.
Drippy freaking geckos, bro. And I don't mean drippy with diamonds.
100%. Let me see if I can get this going here. So this is a lavender female that I also got from Flora Fauna, but if you can see the drip that comes down from the pinstripe there, but she doesn't have as much of it, but it's really prominent on her. Just give me some of these geckos.
You're happy.
Like,
so would you say you just like coverage more than anything? Because I feel like drippy and coverage are hand in hand, right?
I feel it can't. Yes, the more drip, the more coverage. Absolutely, I'd say. But I'd also say the contrast is what gets me too. Okay. So the color underneath. So this one, as she jumps on my computer, but this one is nice and lavender based. I'd say the dark based ones with the drip are my favorite ones.
Yeah, I mean, it pronounces all the colors so well when you have that dark base. Another one is the red base, and you have a really, really nice red base. Do you plan on like tri-color, drippy, extreme?
That's exactly where I'm going with that. 100%.
Keep me on the list.
Yeah.
If you're breeding it with that other tricolor I just showed, what, Mr. Kiss or Smooch? What was it?
Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss. If you breed it with that one and you get some red base drippy tricolor, Put me on the list for #1 purchase. All right, I'll take
I absolutely will.
That's awesome.
But that would be gorgeous though. Like
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would like. I'm looking forward to see what that looks like. Actually.
Yeah, that bright red base color is really nice.
And again, okay, so I gotta ask again the lychees. The lychees now. Let's dive into your lychee side of thing. The world's largest gecko, right?
Yes.
You're all New Caledonian based for your geckos, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Talk about lychees. Go ahead. Something to do with your lychees. Anything to do with your lychees. Go ahead. Your
Okay,
favorite
so
thing.
I'll warn you though, the lychees I'm fairly new in, so I haven't bred any yet. So fairly new into it. I think the longest I've had one now is about 2 years.
Okay.
So still getting into it a little bit. Obviously, I'm getting more into it as I buy more and more and more.
Right.
Because they're so big. I love the hugeness of them. Like it's so much different than a crested gecko. You know, you have a little gecko that you can hold like this, but then you have to hold the other ones.
Hold it like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's what intrigued me the most is just the largeness of them.
Okay.
And then, of
what
course,
are your plans?
the attitude.
What are your plans then going forward with lychees? Well, what are your plans like breeding wise? I mean, you did amazing with tricolors, amazing with your lily whites, and you're still going to move forward and do amazing things with that. What's the project in your head with lychees?
Just the color, adding in more color, doing some more high color stuff, that would be fantastic. So I think just coverage again, same with the cresties. I would love to do high coverage colored lychees.
Okay, awesome. Chris?
And what do you see like? Well, working with like so many lychees and cresties, do you plan on getting a bigger facility?
Yeah, 100%. This is this is kind of my little temporary setup that I got going on here. But definitely getting into it. Now, this is more of a hobby. So I do also have a full-time job that I work for more than 40 hours a week with. So this is my come home from work and do this until 2:00 in the morning sort of job. Yeah, it's real fun. So
I think everyone gets that. We have all been there.
100%. Yep. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. I'd love to make this more full-time, but right now this is, reptiles after dark almost, where I'm doing it on TikTok and, showing my stuff out there.
I think that's the best way to start, though. That's the best way to start. Like, you get to enjoy it more. You know what I mean? Instead of worrying about the finances behind, I have to pay for my warehouse. You got to make sales. You got to make X amount this month. Like it's stressful. When I first got my first warehouse, that type of stuff is stressful. So
the moment you walk away from a 9 to 5, it turns into a cluster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what you're doing, honestly, it's weird to say, which is impossible now, but if I could go back and just have this as a hobby in this scale and have a regular job that could take care of all this, I would. But I think what you're doing is like the best route to be able to do. You get to enjoy it a lot more. There's a lot less stress behind it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's awesome the way you're doing it. That's the right way to start. If I could stay that much,
100%. And it does take a little more of my time. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but it does take a little more of my time after, work and stuff. My days off that I take from my regular job are to do shows and to go travel for this job, so it's always work. It's no break time for me, no vacations.
Nope. That doesn't exist with animals.
Nope.
No. And when you work a 9 to 5 and you have animals, there's this thing that you lose, and it's called a personal life. And a lot of people don't understand that.
You don't need it.
No.
Don't need it.
No.
That's why you have animals. You don't need it.
Exactly. Choose
Oh my
humans.
God. Oh, y'all said that at the same time.
I'll choose animals any day. Choose animals any day, all day. Over people or animals.
People ain't the animals ain't gonna talk back.
Mine do. Oh, mine talk back. I just still pick them over that. But they talk back, I'll tell you that.
Bro, yours don't talk back. They try. Yeah, I was gonna say they bite back.
Yeah.
Definitely that crested you got out the other day. You opened it, boom, he was latched.
Yeah,
or those green keeled lizards.
No, those things are amazing. I love those.
So this question is for the people watching. Remember, there are people watching that have never worked with crested geckos.
100%.
So what makes a crested gecko a good pet?
They are, I'd say they're an animal that you can have and not have to worry too. A dog is completely attached to you 24/7. You have to feed it, you have to give it water. It's like all the time you're there with it. If you leave it at home, you have to make sure it's put away, or it's safe. With a crested gecko, they'd actually probably rather you leave them alone and then play with them every once in a while. So it's more of a, hey, I can look at you and enjoy you and feed you and take care of you, but I don't have to interact. If you get home from work, it's like, okay, cool, you're good in your tank over there, I'm gonna sit over here and relax and watch you, and we're fine. So I think that's the biggest thing, is it's a nice reptile lizard that you can interact with, but you don't necessarily have to, it's not overbearing.
They're very low maintenance. Very low maintenance.
Very low maintenance. Yeah. Yep.
And very easy for husbandry.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
And there's so many ways to go around it too. I mean, you can go the paper towel method. You can go tub keeping. You can go exoterra. I mean, you can do all of them at once. I mean, I'm assuming you and I do all of them at once, right? I mean,
yep.
Exactly. So you can go, I mean, there's so many ways for correct husbandry with them. And they can either be, like you said, an aesthetically pleasing animal to stare at, kind of a centerpiece, as a pet, or again, something you can hold once in a while, unlike a dart frog, let's say, where you shouldn't really be touching it, right? So it's the balance between both worlds when you get into reptiles. I feel like geckos are there's a gecko for everybody. There's a place for everybody when it comes to geckos. I mean, vice versa, either way. So they're amazing animals. I couldn't agree with you more. Now, how long have you been doing geckos or reptiles? How long do you have in the hobby? I mean, even as a kid, even collecting bugs or something like that. Give us the backstory.
Oh yeah, like growing up, I was always digging in the dirt, catching bugs, catching snakes, running around. I raised a baby robin when I was little, so it fell out of the nest. Raised it. I taught it how to fly. It would fly back to me on cue. Like I've always loved animals.
That's dope, though.
It was amazing.
That's dope.
And his name was Rob N. Super creative with that one.
Yeah, you were.
Yep.
I love it.
12-year-old me, super creative. But no, I've always loved him. Now, my mom, on the other hand, was not a huge fan of all of my antics. So I would bring something in the house, and she'd find it, and she'd be like, "Get this out of my house." And so I really didn't get into, I had a hamster, I had cats, I had family dogs, but I didn't really get into the reptile keeping side of it until I was a bit older. So I'd say probably around, 18 was probably when I started doing it. And then I just grew. So I started getting snakes, or I started with fish, actually. I was importing betta fish from Thailand, Vietnam, shipping them all over the U.S. Breeding myself. It was a super fun thing during college that I was doing. And then I got out of college, started my job, and I was like, all this fish, the fish are too much for me. I want something I can hold. So then I got into geckos, and that was about 4 years ago. And been doing the geckos ever since. You start with 1, and then you get 10, and then 20, and then now I have 150, and here we are.
You said 4 years that you've been doing geckos?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, you've done amazing. For 4 years, you've done. I mean, every route you're taking when it comes to the geckos. I applaud you for that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Working with fish, yeah. I didn't even know you work with fish.
Yep.
Exactly. Got to ask the backstory. You never know what someone's done. Look at the robin. You never know. It's cool stuff. I mean, everyone's full of secrets and hidden stories that you'll never know, man. And it's too cool to ask, especially in our community. I mean, I'm sure all of us have a story about how we're into chasing a squirrel or something around that you just were fascinated by, picking, what do they call pill bugs, isopods out of the ground and trying to collect them, or fascinated by the spider above your jacuzzi or something, like everyone has that story that got them really into it, and it's always cool to hear. I've always loved hearing people's backstories like that. I mean, and it went from not even reptiles, a love of reptiles, but birds and fish, hamsters, and the want and finally being able to, and you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm an adult now. I can do what I want. I'm going to get my
adult money, and I can spend it on adult things.
Yeah. Man,
Josh hasn't learned that lesson yet.
Adult money,
dude,
man, two different things. Reptile money's worse.
I'm just like 4 years in the hobby. Like most people would have given up. Some people do give up, because they don't see profit till what, 5 years in, maybe.
It depends.
Yeah,
It depends.
it all can depend, and it depends on how much you buy on whether or not you profit. Because if you spend your profit, you're losing money no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it, is because the majority of people don't know when to stop buying.
But I couldn't imagine someone like that. That's
Me either. I don't know anybody like that.
I don't know anyone that just made a YouTube video about how to spend $13,000.
Me either. Hey, send me that link, bro.
a cool guy. Must be a cool guy. Must be, lucky him.
Josh, oh my god. So I know you probably get this question asked every day, but I mean, like I said, it's people watching that don't know nothing about cressets, so you say you do both, right? I want to go back because we were talking about the tanks that you do bioactive,
Yep.
paper towel. So like, how do you know what plants are safe for the animals, and which like,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you just want to look at what plants do well, like in their natural habitat. So crested geckos, you want to spray them, keep them humid, but then also have a dry out period. So if you look at plants that have that same, need, you spray them, they have a dry out period, their roots are kind of kept a little bit more moist, then you are good with the plants. You just have to make sure the biggest thing comes from, I think, the feeder insects. If they eat any of those plants and then the crested geckos ingest them, that's where you run into issues with the plants being toxic. So even though crested geckos, they're not going around chomping on the plants in their enclosures, you don't want the dubias or the crickets or whatever bugs are feeding to go in and eat those plants and then get ingested by your crested gecko. So you just want to make sure, look up online. Bromeliads are really nice. Pothos are super nice too. You want to use some plants that are generally easy to take care of, but then also they're not toxic.
Yeah, a lot of the bromeliads, your pothos, your what's the other one I'm thinking? Philodendrons.
Yeah. Yep.
Your Tradescantia. For most people that don't know what that one is, that's the wandering Jew.
Yep.
Most people don't know Tradescantia, so
I didn't.
Yeah, wandering Jew is the common name.
Okay. So those are, again, non-toxic plants. It's a really good point, actually, is the insects eating them and then them eating the insects, that whole ecosystem in there that could affect them. That's a really good way to look at it and a good way to put it, actually. I mean, and another thing, it looks like you do it in the background too. I mean, you stick with the fake plants a little bit too, right?
Yeah, so all
me
of
too.
this back here. I don't like digging in bioactive enclosures for eggs, so it's a pain in the neck. I would rather do, so these have some cocoa fiber that's in the bottom, more of like a kind of bioactive bottom to it, but then I have actual lay boxes. So then, you can't use real plants, so it's just fake plants in there. But like, for instance, I have like this tub here. This is one of my monster tubs that has that's a real bromeliad in there, and like real pothos, and that's a tub that I've had for 4 years that have just been growing in there. So that's all live.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's why
That's awesome.
live plants in mine is the eggs, and then mine. I even try to put lay boxes in there, and no matter what, you'll have like 1 or 3 that lay in the lay box, and the rest are like, nope, I have dirt. Let me dig. So I did like, I guess you can say a fake bioactive where I have the soil in there, I have the drainage layer, I have the isopods, the cork, all that, no real plants. So that I stick with the fake plants and all that. I mean, like I said though, there's so many ways you can go about keeping, these geckos. Any New Caledonian gecko, it's kind of nice to. It's for everybody, It's for everybody. There's so many ways to go about it. So, and there you can go live plants, you can go fake plants, you can. I'd stay away from saying no plants just because you can get what is it called with their tail, the hang tail or something like that.
Yeah, the floppy tail. Mm-hmm.
Floppy tail, there you go. So I'd stay away from doing no plants, but something where they can use their tail prehensilely definitely helps them and whatnot. But that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. What do you guys think?
There's a question. It says, where do you guys seek for further research beyond Google? Any books y'all recommend for keeping?
Breeders. Talk to other breeders.
That's same thing I'd say as breeders. I have not yet found a book, but I can probably give you a list of 100 different breeders to talk to.
Talk to Skylar. Hit Skylar up.
Yeah.
You're on Instagram, right?
I am on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere.
And
This person's on Instagram too, and TikTok.
Absolutely. I go live on TikTok all the time. Yeah, you can ask me questions. I have people in my inboxes all the time, ask me questions. How do you set up this tank? How, what morph is my crested gecko, So no, absolutely. I love to help out the new breeders. It is amazing watching someone go from, what morph is my crested gecko to look at these babies I hatched, or how do I set up for my first show? Like that is amazing for yeah.
So anyways, speaking about researching, like, do y'all feel like when we go back and do research, does it change every year or does it stay the same? Because I know when we tell people to research, people have their own opinions on doing their own thing. So I feel like research changes every year. That's what I feel like. Like something changes. Like there's always a different way to take care of a ball python. There's always a different way to take care of a boa, crested gecko, whatever it may be. It's just I feel like research always changing. It's always evolving.
First, Skylar, you go first. I want to hear it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's also different ways to take care of different animals in different areas of wherever you live, right? So even in the US, my way of taking care of a crested gecko might be different than someone who lives in Texas or someone that lives in New York, So, but as for general, like minimums of tank size, as for general, like, hey, you want clutter, that sort of stuff pretty much stays the same, I'd say. Of course, it's always changing. It's always evolving. You want to do the best thing for the animal. But if you're looking for, find a breeder in your area who, has a lot of geckos and see what they do and what they're successful at, you're going to be more successful doing that stuff than say looking for a breeder in, Canada where the temperatures and the climate is totally different. If it's something similar to like spring and how they keep it that way.
Honestly, the one thing I was looking for you to say is always evolving, and it is.
Yeah.
And you said it, and I have nothing to say after that because yes, 100% research and how you can keep is always evolving. And back to the opinionated on Chris saying things being opinionated, I think opinions do matter, but again, like Skylar said, there's certain parameters, cage sizing, the clutter for the geckos that they need, specific temperature, specific humidity. Those main things right there. Diet,
food, yes.
Those are your necessary parameters. End of story. There's no opinions needed on that. Then there's certain ways of keeping that each breeder does, whether it be paper towel substrate, coconut fiber. Some people use organic. What is it called? The same thing they use for plants to grow plants.
Peat moss.
Peat moss. Yeah. Some people just use moss. Those are where you can ask. Different questions, different breeders around your area, like Skylar said, 100%. And other than that, yeah, everything's always evolving 100%. I mean, 10 years ago, everyone thought, or less than 10 years ago, everyone thought New Caledonia never got past 80 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Kaufman that goes over there and records the temperature on a leaf of 102 degrees, and then you find a gecko, 5 feet above from the canopies, and it's like, oh, well, Are geckos really not supposed to be that hot if they're over there basking in, 90 plus degrees almost? It's kind of, I'll share. I don't know if you do this. You tell me how you feel about it, Skylar. Mm-hmm. I have heat mats on the back of the glass of every single one of my tanks. So they have the option to go and put their belly on that heat and then move away. Now, it doesn't change the temperature ambiently. Ambiently, I keep my same temperatures. Around 80 degrees, right around room temperature, a little less than that at times. But they do have an option to go on a heat spot, which you're going to think is crazy, but I have their heat spot at 98 degrees. And I see them nonstop, especially when they're about to lay eggs, that last week and a half, pressed against that, going back, getting water, going down, getting moist, going back up. And it's a cycle. What do you think of that? Do you think it's just insane or what?
Honestly, no, I could totally see that being a thing. Now, I keep mine without the heat mat, so I haven't explored that option yet, which I'm totally open to. especially if that's something that people say like, hey, if it helps with the egg laying, if the eggs look better, if they're laying more consistently, or whatever's going on, if the geckos even look better, what's going on there. So I think that is a great idea, but I think it's also letting people know, because I've seen people put heat lamps on crested geckos, and I'm like, that gives them no room to move around and regulate their own temperature. And again, you want the ambient temperature to be a good solid temperature. So I think as long as the geckos themselves can choose where they want to go, okay. It's the same with the UVB. Some people think the UVB is super, super, super good for the cresties. Some people disagree. I'd say if you can offer it, offer it. 100%. Same with the heat.
Yeah. You brought up the how they look. Yes, I do get better eggs with those, and I've noticed that they, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm lucky, it's pretty consistent, but they're losing a lot less weight. So I have, when they lay eggs and they'll lose 5-10 grams, right?
Absolutely.
I'm noticing that they bounce back like that. They're right back on food. They're right back on their crickets, and they're back up to 60-70 grams, So, I have some pretty chunky geckos, but I mean, I try to keep them, packed with protein, packed with calcium more than anything. And they use the heat mats, which is crazy. I mean, I'm looking at my thermostat right now. It's reading 95.9. And, obviously that's the thermostat. So they're all probably hitting around 90 degrees-ish, and they use them. So it's, and I've gotten some hate for saying that before, where they're like, that's ridiculous. You do that to your geckos. I'm like, I have a few geckos that are on month 14, 15th laying eggs, and they're not losing weight at all, consistent every 30, 35 days, getting a solid pair of eggs, So there's certain things, like you said, always evolving. That's something you don't hear all the time, There are a few people I know who do it that probably don't want me putting their name out there, because again, it comes with a little bit of a controversial topic, if you will.
No, I agree. I think doing the best thing for the animal itself, go for it. If it works for you, if the animal is safe and happy and healthy, no if ands, buts about it. So
Exactly. Well, I do have to leave right now. Skylar, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Now I'm always stalking your crested geckos, so giving that secret away. So don't be surprised when I offer you for one of these geckos, because again, you're doing an amazing job. I would have guessed you were doing this for a lot longer than 4 years, to be honest, Skylar. You're doing fantastic. It's refreshing to see someone who got into it not so long ago and doing, like, what I consider, in my opinion, all the right things. You know what I mean? So again, amazing, Skylar. A pleasure to meet you. Chris,
thank you so much, Josh. That's awesome. I really appreciate it.
No, 100%. Keep killing it, dude. Tanner, Chris, much love for having me on, bro. I will
Thank you, brother.
Take care of these guys, Skylar. I know they're a little bit of a handful, right? So be careful on them, okay? Their brains aren't fully developed yet, okay? Both of them together are one brain, okay? No, I'm joking.
Damn. All right.
Remember that. I know where you'll be in a little bit.
Damn. Tanner. Love you, bro. Chris, love you. Again,
Love you, bro.
Pleasure. Keep killing it. I will, I'll message you here pretty soon, and hopefully the next couple of days about that gecko, because that red-based tricolor, that's stuck in my head now, okay?
I got you.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good
Later,
one.
bro. Man, that was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, that was awesome.
Super
But we still got more to go, guys. We still got more to go. More to come.
Oh yeah,
All
we
right,
ain't done yet.
So where do you
I'm just
see the
trying to get out
future
of life.
of crested geckos, like, keeping going? Where do you see that going for you?
Yeah. There are, with all the new morphs that have come out recently and everything that's going on there, honestly, I can only see it going up. Now it is a prolific species too. Everybody and their mother can make 50,000 crested geckos in a year if they really wanted to. So that's where I think it comes into quality over quantity. I think anyone who wants to get into them needs to go more of the quality route. Just because they are so easy, but that means with the quality that you're able to go up and up and up on that trajectory that way. So yeah, I think just happier, healthier, more colorful animals. Honestly, that's where I see myself going anyway.
That's awesome. And what is, like, the most rewarding part of all, like, keeping geckos? Like, what is rewarding for you?
I'd say And I just recently started doing the shows more often. So I'm mostly doing them like in the Denver area, in the Colorado Springs area, with the occasional trip out. But it's seeing the kids that come in, and it just awakens a whole new love in them, or even like on TikTok too. People come in and they're like, you have sparked this new interest for me. And I'm like, cool. Just by showing you my animals and my love for them, I can create a whole new hobby and passion for people. That is super cool for me. So I think that's the most rewarding thing. Of course, seeing the animals and being able to hold them and see how well they're doing, and the babies grow up and you can breed those. It's that's also pretty fun. But I'd say it's getting them out to people and getting the passion out to other people too.
Just kind of sharing the love.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I've seen your lives too on TikTok. Like, I don't even know how you have time to answer every question on there. The question is always the same question.
How
are
many
they hard
do you
to?
have? What do you
Yeah.
have?
How many do you have? That one's like the main one. It's always going off. How many do you have? Do they bite?
Yes.
Is that one dead when it's just laying there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think I've only seen your lives a couple of times.
Bro,
what?
they ask her the same thing like 100 times.
That's not surprising.
Bro, but I swear it's like these people are looking for reassurance. Like, does a gecko bite? Yeah, it's gonna bite. It's a gecko.
If
I
it
mean,
wants to.
It has
Yeah.
a mouth. They can bite.
And
I mean, I have a
that's
mouth.
a common sentence I say is, does it have a mouth? Yeah. Then yeah, it can bite you. It's not like a tokay where it's going to bite you, but it can.
It can. Absolutely.
Tokays just will.
That's exactly it. No, I have a few males right now because it's mid breeding season, and I have a few males that are still like ready to go. And man, I'll reach in there expecting to get bit, but that is
And they just give you the
rare.
business.
Wait, you have tokays?
Not tokays, no, the Cresties.
No, male
I
cresties
was
during
like,
breeding
I was
season.
like, what?
No.
Male cresties during breeding season will just bite you.
Yep.
Because that is breeding response.
100%.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
So
So you reach in there remotely smelling like a female, and they're all over you. It's insane.
hold on. It says question. Due to dramatic events via social media platforms, my wife and became fear of IBD. We keep multiple species and keep everything medical grade clean. Does that? What is that?
Does that suffice? Do we have control? IBD for that can spread through all the animals. Is that what they're talking about? I believe.
I mean,
It's hard saying.
Okay. I mean, IBD in general, I feel like as long as you keep things clean and you don't cross contaminate, you should be fine. I use the name of it is slipping out of my brain here right now, but I use something that you dilute in water, and you put a few drops into some water, and that's what you use to clean, and it basically kills everything, but it's reptile safe. Once the name comes to me, I'll remember it, but that's
it's like iodine or something, right?
it's something similar to that.
Iodine and betadine are for like if something has a cut or a burn or fresh drop tail. You'll take
It's not something
betadine
directly on the animal itself. It's something you use to clean the enclosures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had it right here, but it is in the other room. So if it comes to me, I can I'll remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of the one I use. I can't think of it.
Yeah. But no, as long as you keep things clean and don't cross contaminate.
Chlorhexidine, there you go.
Chlorhexidine. I don't even think it's that. I don't even think it's chlorhexidine.
I wouldn't use chlorhexidine in like even on the glass on the inside of the enclosure. I don't think. I have to look at which one that is.
So now I want to backtrack a little bit because I'm like, so what led you into reptiles? Because you've been in it 4 years besides, the fishes and stuff. Like, what led you all like down that road?
What made you pull the trigger from fish to reptiles?
So my favorite animal since I was little has always been snakes, which it's funny that I do more geckos now than I do snakes, but that was actually the first animal that I wanted to get. once I started going from fish to reptiles. It was just the transfer, the aquatic community and the reptile community are very similar and pretty
Yep.
close together, and sometimes intermix, kind of how Josh is doing it. He's kind of doing a little bit of both now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into it, is I was doing mostly aquatics, and then I kind of got a few pets here and there, got a few snakes first. I started out with Kenyan sand boas and ball pythons. So some really,
I love the
really
derpy worms.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I still have them too. I love them. They're great.
Yeah, everyone loves a good derp worm. And I will
Yes.
never refer to them as anything other than derpy worms.
With their eyes going 2 different directions on the top of their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. That every time, that's how I refer to them.
Although you never see them. That's the big thing, is you'll never see them. Don't create, some fancy enclosure, because you'll never see them out and about. But no, it was the snakes that first got me into it. So I got a few snakes here and there, and I started keeping the snakes. And then I went to a reptile expo actually looking for more snakes, and it was one here in Colorado Springs. And I saw the crested geckos, and I had known about them, and I kind of wanted them. And I was like, you know what? Let me pull the trigger. And it was some, probably $50 bicolor Harlequin crested gecko. It was something, real basic. So I got that one. And then I started diving deeper into morphs. So I had already known care and all that for a while. I had already had something set up, but I dove into morphs. That's when I was like, okay, lily whites, Harlequins, tricolors, you name it. And that's when I started going crazy with the buying here and there, and just getting them to every project I could. And yeah, that's pretty much what got me into it.
So I hate to ask this question. When you got into it and you started buying here and there, like, did you already know like breeding them would bring money? Like, did you think buying? What I'm saying is, when you went into buying them, did you think you were gonna get rich quick, like some people do?
And I'll be 100% honest, that was part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Me. There's always that, like, because you go on Morph Market and you see the Xanthic crested gecko that sold for $3K, and it was posted that same day and it sold for $3K, and I was like, $3,000, like, there's really this kind of money in there, so I kind of saw that. Now I knew I wasn't going to get into that with the $50 animals I was buying, right? You're not going to make huge amounts of money on nothing. You have to spend money to make money. But
definitely in this hobby,
100%. But this, it was more of a passion that turned into, okay, now, I just now at year 4 am starting to see some of that income come back, right? So at first it was buy. I can't even tell you how much money I have invested in these guys, but now I'm starting to see some of it come back.
And you probably don't want to think about how much you have invested into them.
Oh my gosh, I don't.
Trust me.
I
understand. I've got more than I should probably.
Yeah, 100%.
It becomes an addiction at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been told that many times.
But I'm like, even at that though, like, let's say, okay, yeah, we probably spend a shit ton of money. But if you sit back and like think about it, and you look around, like, at least hey, you're still here and you're still doing the damn thing.
That's exactly it. Haven't given up yet, so.
Because right now, I did what you did, Skylar. I went and bought 50 ball pythons thinking I was going to get rich quick. And I should have just waited, because I ended getting out of ball python.
Yeah.
Now I work with retics and hognoses, milk snakes, rat snakes, stuff I really wanted to work with. I should have just waited. So I had to take, like, I had another podcast, so I took like maybe 6 months off, and I got rid of the balls, like almost all of them except for some pites, because I know pites sell regardless. Pites always sell.
Absolutely. That's my one and only ball python project that I have growing up, are clown pides. So yeah, because I know those will sell.
I gotta hit you up for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down to 3 balls in my entire collection.
Wow.
And one of them's just got to grow a little bit more. All 3 are leaving. I'm not keeping any. I am done with ball pythons.
Get them out of here.
100%. Yeah, I've got an adult banana pastel, a sub-adult leopard het pied het clown, and a cinnamon pastel.
Nice.
That's all that's left in the entire collection of ball pythons out of almost 150 of them.
What made you sell out of them?
There's no joy left and there's no market left. If there's no joy and there's no market, there's no point.
There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, but I mean,
If
I
you
feel
can't
like
enjoy it and you can't sell it and you're a business, you shouldn't have it.
That's true.
I mean, from a business aspect, if you don't like it and you can't sell it, you shouldn't have it. You have to think of it as they're not your pets anymore once you are a business.
Yep.
yeah,
They are a consumable item.
bro. But it's hard to part ways with my very first ball python. I still can't part ways with it.
Are you a business or a hobby?
I'll answer that after the podcast, sir.
I mean, really though, like, and this is coming. I was told the same thing by my mentor, and they've got almost 20,000 ball pythons. And he said, "Is it a business or a hobby? Is it making you money? If you're a business and it does not create an income, you're a hobbyist."
Mm.
Lolo's here. What's up, Lolo? Hey, if you're looking for stickers, hit her up. She makes stickers as well. I don't know if you have stickers, Skylar,
Ooh.
but she will. She'll send you a pack of stickers. Hit her up. There's a lot of people like that make shirts. Yeah, look, she made those right there.
That is really cool.
I do the designs, and then she makes them into stickers. But this is something you don't see very often with a sticker. I can run my index finger just across it, and I don't know if you can see it.
It peeled.
All I did is barely run my index finger across it, and wait, there it is. They stay. That one's been there since the day I got them almost 2 weeks ago. No issues.
Yeah, look, she makes these.
Ooh, the holographic ones too.
Yeah,
Nice.
she did these.
Yeah, I need to get some of those.
Yeah, hit her up on the TikTok. It's the exact same name.
Perfect. I'll go ahead. I'll have to do that because I have some shows coming up that I need some stickers for, and I already have the design. So
yeah, and she's quick about it too.
Perfect.
Skylar, so what is the best piece of advice you got in being in the hobby for 4 years or industry community?
I'd say if I was gonna pick like crested geckos, maybe to give advice on, and being part of that reptile community, that would be to start out small and buy things that you are interested in, not what everybody else is interested in. Because if you go down that rabbit hole, again, like you said, if there's no joy, there's no reason to be doing it. So, there might be a market, but the joy is what really keeps me going too. If I didn't have any joy, I would not want to come back. I get off of work at 8:00 at night, and then I work here in my gecko room until 2 a.m. And if there was no joy in that, then that would be terrible. I wouldn't be able to do it. So I think it's being able to do things that you like, and then success will follow you after that. If you keep at it, stick with it, and stay positive with everybody, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Oh yeah. All right, Tanner. You got any questions for Skylar?
Give me just a second. I got something in my eye.
I'm like that went quicker than I thought. I didn't even know
we're already almost 50 minutes.
An hour in.
Yeah, I did not expect that already.
That's awesome.
But it was Josh's fault. You took up all the time, bro.
It's always Josh's fault. We can always get part 2 out of her. I'm sure she wouldn't mind coming back for another
100%.
round.
I'll get the right time this time too.
No, that was my fault. I thought I asked you. Yeah, that was my fault. I thought I asked you if you were like Pacific Standard Time or Central Time. I thought I asked you, and I assumed you were Central because I was telling him I think she's Central.
And Skylar, let's be realistic. So my time, he told me what time it was at 4:30 when it was supposed to be at 5. That he told me at 4:30 that it was at 5 o'clock.
I was like, don't forget we got a podcast today at 5 o'clock. He's like, it's 20 minutes. I was like, yeah.
So it's okay.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I'll definitely get it right next time, and we will be right on time.
So if you could tell someone where a good starting point, and I ask almost everyone this question, if they want to get into breeding cresteds, where would be a good starting point? Would you recommend just go to shows and find something? Would you say look through this? This is where you can find something. Find something you like. If they're just trying to learn, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to do? And how would it go? How would you see that conversation going?
100%. I would tell them probably the best way to do it depends on whether you want to go in person or online. So I think that's the big place to start is do you want to go in person? Because then you're going to find, you're going to have relations to breeders that are actually in the same state as you. You can talk to people, you can meet face to face, you can see the animals in person. And usually it shows they'll give you a better discount too. So that's, my animals online, they are heavily discounted when I go to shows. So
the trick is to go during the last hour of the show.
The last hour on the last day. That's the key.
That's when the deals happen. They'll be like, this gecko for $20. You want it or not?
Oh, I'll tell you now. The last hour of the last day of a show, everything on my table is marked down. Everything. I don't care what it is.
Yep.
Because I do shows up to 10 hours away.
Yep.
So that is a 10-hour drive there with the animals. I don't want to put them on a 10-hour drive back.
Yep. That's exactly it. So yeah, so the discounts at the shows are unbeatable. You can kind of haggle a little bit online, but honestly, the shows are where you're going to get the best discounts, and you can also see the animals in person. Sometimes online it's hard to get the lighting with the pictures right, or you don't know if people are taking correctly lighted pictures. So that's one of the difficulties. So shows are really awesome to do that. Now, if you're looking for the widest range of animals that you're going to find, some platform like Morph Market might be the way to go with that. Or looking online, maybe on Instagram or Facebook at your local reptile breeders, something like that. Or just the most popular ones too. And finding somebody that does something you like. And that way, you have some sort of footing in the game. You can kind of figure out what you like, where you want to go with projects, and get the best animals from there.
Or I'm just saying, or you can just hit up Skylar and follow her on her page, Skyzthe1imit. The way it's spelled there, it's the way it's spelled on TikTok, Instagram.
And I'm sure if she doesn't have something that everybody likes, she knows someone else who might.
That's exactly it. I can point you in all different directions. You like Dalmatians? I don't do Dalmatians. I have 50 people who do that I like.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Honestly, when it comes to Dalmatians, I point everyone to the exact same person.
And who would that be?
Gecko King.
Yep, there you go.
Hey, I have a day gecko from him actually. He's the one that has like the geckos with crowns on it, right? His logo.
I can't tell you.
Not 100% sure.
I can't tell you what his logo is, but his solid white Dalmatians are killer.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have a sticker here.
Yeah. Let me make sure we're talking about the right the Gecko King. What's his name? Which one is this?
Give me just a second. I'll look because I can pull it up.
Because I want to make sure there's one that has a whole bunch of drama in the community, and there's one that doesn't. So I want to make sure we're talking about the right one.
So do you know about US Art, Skylar? Like, what is your take
absolutely.
on? What's your take on US Art?
US Art is great. I actually donate every time I purchase a shipping label. So just a little bit here and there. I think they are awesome with what they do for the community. And I 100% think they need to continue what they're doing.
Oh, I was like, why is Tanner not moving? He's frozen. I forgot he went to go. I forgot he went to go look that up for you. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, 100%. You guys support the US Art also, right? Are they?
Yes, I got right here.
Oh, there we go. Yep, perfect.
US Art. I got of course I got stickers. I got another sponsor who does stickers. He also does like that glitter. So let me show you here.
Awesome. Yeah, there's at Flora Fauna, which is the gecko conference in New York that's coming up. They have US Arc auctions, so I'm probably gonna do an auction in their thing. Wow, you have an awesome sticker wall, dude.
Yeah, that's Prism. That's Prism stickers. It's called Hognose Hub. If you type
Wow.
in Untamed, it's 50% off.
Ooh,
And
there
then
you
they
go.
have like the glitter sticker right here. Where is it? This one is like a glitter.
Okay,
That's-
I was wrong. It's not Gecko King. It's Krusty King, and it's Miles O'Reilly.
Oh, okay. Okay. Miles O'Reilly.
Yeah, he has solid white Super Dalmatians, and they are
There you go.
solid white, no color at all, with just solid black spots.
There you go. Hey, there's all sorts of Dalmatians you can do too. You can do the pale base, you can do the yellow base, the red base, a little bit of everything.
Oh,
Yep.
what's that one that I was asking you about, Tanner? The leucistic one, or leucistic one? Sorry, leucistic cresty gecko. You're like, oh, they don't have a very long lifespan.
Oh, are you talking about the Super Lily Whites?
Yes.
Yeah, that's just a no. You just don't do it.
Yeah,
That-
but
because
people are still doing it. Why? If it's a
Because
no-no, why do it then?
because they think that they will be special. That's why they think they're going to be special. They have no longevity. The mortality rate in a Super Lily White is so high that it's crazy. I think there's like a 3% chance of them surviving, and they look like an alien. I mean, it's almost as bad as the Super Cats, except for they live a little bit longer and have more health problems. But that's because they're alive.
But so there's no possibility of them living longevity at all.
No,
Like no
it's like
matter what they mix it with.
there's like a 3% chance. No, because you can't get one to adulthood. It's
Okay.
not possible.
Everybody hear that? Y'all heard it here. Thank you. No, I see it. I see it often. I seen them like you said. They had, remember that one I sent you, and that one died. I guess like 2 weeks later or something.
Yep. Yeah, and
So
that's normal. They'll hatch sometimes, and then they'll get to 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks old. I have yet to see one over 4 weeks. There is a company that claims that they have some that are 6 months old, but they're selling them for $25,000 a piece, and they're a wholesaler.
yeah, but why would you buy that if you know it's gonna die later? Yeah, but it's also a wholesaler. I get it. They're trying to make money, but still, like
And
if you
and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not going to call out who it is. I know who it is because I've seen it. But they aren't known for having bad or sick animals. It's not. They're not in a southern state. I'll put that out there. They're not in a southern state.
so they're in a northern state.
Well, they're not southern.
Due to deductive reasoning.
You saw what I did there? You saw what I did there?
That eliminates some of the ones that get bad raps. That's all that does. Because that tells you it's not any of the ones in Texas, none of the ones in Arizona, and none of the ones in Florida.
There you
And
go.
that eliminates a lot of wholesalers.
Okay. I see what you're saying. All right, so this question is a little tough for you, Skyler. But you've been in here for 4 years. I think you can knock this out. So what separates you from everyone else? Ooh.
Ooh, that is a good question. That is a good question because I get a lot of advice from other people. You know, I'm right now and 4 years ago have been a sponge. You know, I'm always taking in what people do, why they do it, why it works well for them, you know, what the reasoning is. So I think you know, I am right now a collective amount of other people's advice and opinions and things. You know, I kind of do things my own way too, or I try to. But I think honestly, what can set me apart from other people is just getting everybody together with all this stuff. You know, I love doing these podcasts. I love bringing people onto the lives. I think having a foot in the door with the community and kind of seeing more of the profits come back and being a little more advanced than a beginner, but not quite an expert at this point. You know, I have a foot in both doors. I can kind of be an advocate for both sides, I think would be my biggest thing, and what kind of sets me apart. So I try to, do these educational things. I try to do the TikTok lives and spread the passion. But yeah, I'd say that's probably what's the biggest thing that sets me apart.
Great answer though, because I was very, very, very detailed. I was like, oh, that's what I like about you too. You're very detailed when you're giving information. You don't leave out like any pieces or anything. You just
Thank you.
straight to the point.
I try. If you need to cut me off, please feel free, because I will ramble on. So
no, you're good. And people are seeing you for you. You're being truthful, you're being transparent, and that's what I'm trying to get everybody to come on here to see. See you for who you are.
The main goal is people need to know who you are besides a face behind a screen.
100%.
So, and that's a big difference between YouTube and TikTok in general. TikTok, people have to maintain a cordial aspect. YouTube, and I'm going to put it where it's at, YouTube don't give two fucks.
Yeah, you right, bro, because
there it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm the first one. I was a mechanic during the day until I left my 9 to 5. I mean, I am not the politest person. I am not the nice person. Currently, the nice person here, out of the two up top, is going to be Chris. As his appearance might give, he's a little bit of a teddy bear.
I am. Everybody thinks I'm intimidating. Was I intimidating to you, Skylar?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
No, he's just squishy.
Yeah. Everybody's like, dude, I'm afraid to talk to you because, I do post workout videos. I'm a big guy, but, I just like spreading positivity. I like showing love. And I have grown a lot from my last podcast. If you go back and watch my old one, I didn't really talk as much. And now that I got like different co-hosts, I have to talk because they feed off of me or whatever comes to their minds. So
100%.
Oh yeah, and part of that is we are co-hosts, but it's your channel. So we need to make you talk, because otherwise it ain't yours. If you don't speak up, then it turns into my channel, and I don't want that.
and you're right. And I get that. But at the same time, like I told Tanner, when I asked him to be my co-host, I wanted him to get out there because this guy, he's full of information. He's very highly detailed. If you ask him something, he's gonna find out if he doesn't know it. If you ask him, he'll be like, "Hold up, I'll come back to you," and he'll go get the info and then come back. Yeah.
A lot of people know. I will just everyone laughs about it. I will say, "Please hold," and then I disappear.
Yes, he does. He says, "Please hold," and then like 10, 15 minutes go by. And he's like, "Oh, it's this and that, whatever it may be." But he will get you the information. Like I told Tanner, like when you come on my podcast, it's ours. We're together. And when I do this, I'm taking him, out of his shell too. Like I want to put him out there too, because he needs to be out there. Everybody does. So
Absolutely. No, you guys were awesome, and reaching out to me via TikTok, and no, I was not intimidated in the least. So felt super invited and appreciated from the beginning. So no, I can't do enough to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity too to speak and chat with you guys, and Josh too.
So I had to get up at 7 a.m. to do a funeral. So I went to a funeral and then do 2 podcasts back to back, not scheduling Josh because Josh was just random. Yeah, Josh was like, "Hey, if you want to do a podcast, let's do it now." He's like, "I got 30 minutes." I was like, "All right." And that's why I pushed you back to 6 because we were already late. So I was like, and then it gives you time to like change or whatever. You said you just got home from work. So I was like, okay. So we did that and then went in. I was like, "Josh, if you want, you can come co-host on this one too." So we brought him over, so. Plus, he's a sponsor. I can't tell him no. I love that guy too. So
100%.
No, I'd tell him no. I'd be the one to tell him no. I think I probably talk to him a little bit more than Chris does at this point.
Yeah, because I was apparently I text the number he doesn't answer. So
no, that's all of his numbers. He doesn't answer his text messages. If you want to talk to him, pick up your phone.
All right. So serious question. You ready? What do you think of the podcast so far?
Amazing. I think it's great. I think you guys are doing an awesome job bringing everybody on here. I watched a few episodes over the past week where I've seen kind of where you guys are headed and what you're doing with it. And I think it is amazing. Yeah, it's so super informative.
Now, this is the most important question, and it's asked every single time, so I know you know what's coming. If you had a note of positivity to tell everybody that's watching right now, what would it be?
That would be to I think don't be afraid to reach out to people in the community, because there's always going to be someone there that's going to help you, you know. Reach out to me, reach out to, you know, bigger breeders, reach out to people and you know, spread the joy, spread the love, because everybody should be willing to, you know, be nice to each other, be kind, and yeah, just get information, chat with other people, and make the community a better place.
So, recap, you'd say that the best thing, the positivity is don't be scared.
100%. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Do what you like. Reach out to the people, you know, build the community, but don't be scared to do it.
All right,
And
Chris, I know
the
you
last
always
question.
have one more.
Yeah, my last question is, if you could change one thing in the hobby / industry, what would it be and why? And I know you knew that was coming too.
Ooh, I would say that just the backlash against new breeders and the mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody's done it. I've been there, done that, made mistakes. You know, things happen. Don't, you know, give advice and be nice to them, but again, be kind to them in that same place. You know, we've all been there, we've all done that. You know, it's an embarrassing thing to be in that position. So reach out to them in that headspace of, you know, I want to help this person become better instead of shame them for what they're doing wrong. So I think that's one way the community can improve.
That's perfect. And I appreciate, you know, saying yes, coming on the podcast. I appreciate your time. And
yeah, thank you guys for
everybody.
letting me on here.
Show Skylar some love. Thank you for coming on, Skylar. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
But if you hang around backstage, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put you. Well, not put you backstage. Just when I end the live, just stay back there and we'll talk.
Sounds good.
What's up? What's up, Tanner?
One more thing, real quick. Chris, do you already have her links?
Yes, I already put them up. Actually, it's in the description. If you go click on it, her stuff is all there. Her Instagram, her TikTok.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
so
I already
everyone
put
that's
that up.
watching right now, go down to that description. After that, the exit and the outro plays. Go down that description. Go to her Instagram. Go to her TikTok and drop her a follow.
Yes. Subscribe, everything.
These guys a follow too. If you're not following, what are you doing? Come on. Let's go.
Right? They're sitting in the back watching, creeping.
Exactly. Don't be a creeper.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, but don't be a creeper for real. Well, on that note, anything else, Tyler?
That's it for me.
Tanner. Sorry. I put your Skylar and Tanner together, so I said Tyler. Sorry.
That's new.
There we go.
It's not new. It's a name. Oh my god.
It's new for you to mess up my name.
Yeah, it is. It is, because I'm trying to say like your name fast too. So, but on that note, everybody, y'all already know what it is. Love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Don't forget to lift up others. Never put anybody down. All right. Peace out, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night.